us a bit about how the tribe itself was structured and how the families functioned within the tribe, and then about the children. How were the children raised?
That might be better for somebody else to answer, but I can kind of talk about it generally. Patty talked about village autonomy, and that was a pretty strong feature from at least as far north-south. I don't know about things way up north of here to head along the Columbia River as much. But there would be a village structure, and for the most part, villages were considered, everybody in that village was considered to be blood relatives, and that's why whether you could trace a blood relationship or not, that was your family, really in a larger sense. And so that's why when people came of marrying age, you had to marry outside of your village, and that was a pretty strictly enforced rule everywhere. And then with the higher status families, the farther you could bring your wife from, especially if she was from a higher status family, then that would bring more status to that relationship and the children produced from it. And so there was generally a practice of paying a bride price, and I think that it's my own interpretation that got a little bit corrupted in later years into being interpreted as purchasing of wives, and it did kind of take on that aspect in later years. But originally it was to show respect and to show to the bride's family that you valued her, and that they may or may not accept the offered bride price. And if they accepted it, then they said, yes, we recognize that our daughter is a valuable person. All of the work that she'll be doing will be done in her husband's village. She's leaving our community, and she's going to be bringing forth the next generation of her husband's village. So it was recognition of that aspect too. It was only through her that her husband's village was going to live on. She was going to become of his people, and all of her children would be from there. So, and most of the accounts talk about children really being kind of doted on. And I think there's kind of some more general stuff from around the United States talking about how Indian children were treated within their family and within their village. And I think some Indian people from farther back east talked about and were quoted as saying that the non-Indian people, they spank their children and pet their dogs, and we're just the opposite. So I'll pass this on.
I just want to say a few things about children, because like Robert's saying, before the whites come in and start showing different ways how to raise your child and how they should be going to school, that they were raised by not just your mother and father, but you had your grandmothers and your aunts and uncles and cousins and all those people that was part of your family. But when the kids had to go, when the whites moved in, and then they had what they call the Bureau of Indian Affairs schools, and up around here, all of our families went to around Salem and Chemawa. And at that time, they took kids as young as, I think 4 or 5 years old, like the chief's dad, took him to this school because they're going to, teach them to be Americans and upstanding citizens and all this. But they were so small, and he said his dad did nothing but bawl and cry, And so you can just imagine the day now has taken a 4, 5, 6-year-old child away from the family and sending them up to an Indian school. They cut their hair, they had to wear different clothes, they couldn't talk the language anymore, they couldn't see their family anymore, they probably got back to the family twice a year or something like that. So a big change when they had to conform to the way the school wanted to teach them than what the way that the Indians way were doing for so many years. I know Robert was talking about baskets. Also, I think at different times we tried giving back basket class and just let everybody come in that wanted to, but we just quit that. We just goes to tribal members and they can learn and do it. Because it's not, you can run down to Walmart and get those little reeds and everything else, I don't know where they come from, and make a basket and you can sell it. But for us to go and make that basket, we have to go out, dig the spruce roots or get the cedar off the tree. Now this is not just a one-day thing and then you start making your baskets. It's you have a gathering time to do all this and you have to go out as a group. And when you do that, you pay homage to the Mother Earth. You're taking something from her, so you're giving a prayer. And I think that's a very much difference in our baskets and what you can go down to Walmart and buy baskets. Because ours has got our heart and spirits in it that we give thanks for all these things we do. Even when we go hunting, fishing, clamming, that's what we do. You just don't go to the store and buy something. And, you know, it's a meaning to us, and we take great pride in that. And it's a lot more work, but we like it that way. And so this is why we kind of keep our basket just amongst the tribal members, and they can make and sell within the tribal members or something, but not just out there to the public.
We're going to take a 5-minute break, only a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. Robert brought some artifacts and to show us, and also we're going to talk about the very awful prison camp years. So just 5 minutes.